Okay. All righty. So the first question is from Harinam Das from the East Coast. Let's see.
Primera pregunta es de Harinam.
And Harinam asks, the Vedas are extensive. Why do we not follow all aspects of the Vedas? How did it come to be that we chose to worship Krishna? I had a friend that recently asked me all this. He wondered why, if the book is our philosophy, referring to the Veda, if the Veda is our philosophy, why not follow all of it? Krishna has so many avatars. How can you explain these? It is confusing. Trying to word things for someone to understand is sometimes hard. If not said right, it might not give the proper understanding. Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Well, as you said in your question, the Vedas are extensive, so there are many branches.
Bueno, sí, los Vedas se dice que tienen muchas ramificaciones.
The Bhagavad Purana, the Srimad Bhagavatam, is described as the ripened fruit of the many-branched tree of Vedic literature.
Y se dice que
so a lot of ground is covered there. There's a lot of things
es el fruto maduro de los múltiples ramas del árbol de los Vedas.
Knowledge as a means to transcend the world, and the nature of transcendence, for that matter, is variegated as well.
Y hay muchas maneras de trascender el mundo,
things to know, places to go,
variadas,
and so forth, and the Vedas are extensive, and they cover the path of karma,
se dirigen a
path
todos
of
estos
jnana, the path of
por eso que se encuentra el sendero del karma, del jnana, del bhakti.
And these are really universal principles. Karma meaning that people tend to work for the fruits of their activity, to avoid suffering and pursue happiness, primarily through acquisition of things.
Y esto se hace con la adquisición de cosas.
So that's not a sectarian kind of provincial perspective, the karma marg. That's what most people do, and to make it a path systematically, well, the thought is that
donde esto se haga de forma sistemática.
One should pursue such things in consideration of
Así que uno persiga estas cosas en consideración de Dios. O sea, eso es el karma marga. ¿Cómo adquirir las cosas? Jnana marga es todo sobre cómo renunciar, rechazar las cosas. Si uno conoce el ser y sabe que el ser es más grande que cualquier objeto físico del mundo material, entonces los deja ir, rechaza todo. Y luego se encuentra el sendero del bhakti, de la dedicación. El que sabe todo, el que lo... El bhakti, o sea, dedicación, dedicarse, entregarse a el que lo sabe todo y el que lo posee todo. Si uno es amigo del que lo sabe todo y que lo posee todo, no tiene que preocuparse por nada. Solo en cultivar la relación con esa persona. Estos son los senderos básicos de los Vedas, y la gente de este mundo estará más inclinada hacia un sendero que otro.
And so the Veda addresses all of them. Not everybody is ready to hear
hablan de todos, y no todo el mundo está listo para oír sobre Krishna Loka y la devoción pura y lo que vino a dar Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, etc.
And as I say, transcendence is variegated as well.
Y como dije, dentro de la trascendencia se encuentra mucha variedad también.
Again, in your question, you said the Vedas are extensive. Yeah,
me dijiste si los Vedas son muy
extensive. Now, what
we
are doing
lo que nosotros
is
hacemos
following the yuga.
Es
follow according to the
seguir
Veda and Purana.
El yuga.
Yuga
los Vedas y los Puranas, seguimos el que es el Yuga Avatar.
So there are different yugas. So the Vedas address the different yugas.
Los Vedas
and different paths that are more fruitful, efficacious in those
que son más eficaces
yugas.
según el yuga.
So we're in the Kali Yuga. The most efficacious path is the chanting
el método más eficaz es el canto de los
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu fits the description of the Yuga Avatar who will distribute the chanting of the holy name.
La descripción del Yuga Avatar y vino con este canto. Los Vedas lo describen,
and so given that it's Kali Yuga, we're following the Yuga Avatar and
puesto
thereby
que
the
es
Yuga
Kali
Dharma.
Yuga, seguimos el Yuga Avatar, que
Then
vino por el
those
Yuga Dharma,
associates of
Yuga
Chaitanya
Dharma,
Mahaprabhu
los asociados de Chaitanya
with whom
Mahaprabhu,
he
con
appeared,
quienes él
they
apareció,
have kind of stirred the pot, if you will,
han estado
and focused the pot of revelation and focused our attention on that which
mezclando
is
los ingredientes dentro de esta olla y sacando
central
muchos
to
aspectos de
Kali
esta
Yuga
revelación
and
que son
the
céntricos para el Kali
prospect
Yuga y la
that
perspectiva
has been offered to us
que
given the
se
descent,
ofreció,
the
se nos
avataric,
ofreció
if you will, appearance
a través
of
del
Chaitanya
avatar, de
Mahaprabhu.
la aparición de
So,
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
and in doing that, we find that the focus has been placed on Srimad Bhagavatam.
Y vemos que
Of
el
all the
enfoque
Vedic
de
texts,
los asociados de
because
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu se encuentra en
it
el
is
Srimad
thought to
Bhagavatam.
be that which the legendary Vyas
Se
wrote in his
dice
most mature
que
stage of realization, as
Vyasadeva
the text itself explains, and as other
lo
Puranas
escribió el
also
Bhagavatam durante su
attest
estadio más
to.
maduro de realización.
So we kind of cut to the chase in Kali Yuga. Time is
Entonces
short.
en Kali Yuga vamos al grano, el tiempo es corto.
And we go to the Bhagavatam, and there we find the
Nos
ripened fruit of the
dirigimos
tree
al Bhagavatam,
of
allí
Vedic literature,
encontramos
and
el
it's being
fruto de
offered
la
to us
literatura
through the
védica que se nos ofrece
approach and
a través
personally demonstrated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nam Sankirtan.
del método personalmente demostrado,
And so, yeah, and given
mostrado
that,
por Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nama
we
Sankirtan.
have had saintly association to capture our faith and show us how to tread the path. We focus on that particular path
Entonces nos
and the
enfocamos en
texts
este
that are
sendero en
pertinent
particular
to that.
y en los textos
And
que
we have no
pertenecen, que se refieren
interest
a
in the
este
other
sendero. No
texts. We're
tenemos
not
interés en
just
los otros
here to
textos
satisfy our curiosity. As I
porque
say, time
no
is short.
estamos aquí para satisfacer nuestra curiosidad, como dije, el tiempo es breve.
Focused on the particular texts that are relevant to our time and circumstance and our tradition, and we suggest others do as well.
Entonces,
for good
seguimos
reason.
nuestra tradición según tiempo y
Hope that helps.
circunstancias y espero que te sirvió esta respuesta.
Thank you very much. Okay, so the next question is from Gayatri.
I should say one other thing, and that means that so we as sadhakas should understand this point. It's a simple point that I've explained, and many of you have probably already understood that. But to focus your attention on the answer, it's important to note that what I said, and therefore not every book that somebody quotes, some Purana or some Itihasa or some Hita over here as evidence for how we should conduct ourselves applies to us. I see this tendency amongst devotees. Anything that was written a long time ago in Sanskrit or Bengali, now suddenly it becomes authoritative.
Que cualquier cosa encuentra que está escrito en sánscrito o en bengali, de repente se convierte en autoridad.
Let me give you an example. There's a statement from the Krishna Yamala that Rupa Goswami cites in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatriki Virimbina Aikantiki Harayar Bhakti Utpatyaiva Kalpate. It says that Shruti Smriti Puranadi. Shruti means the Veda, the Upanishads, the Smriti, the Puranas. Shruti Smriti Puranadi, Pancharatriki Virimbina, the Pancharatric literature, all the tantric texts and so forth. Shruti Smriti Puranadi, Pancharatriki Virimbina, Aikantiki Harer Bhakti Upadhyaya Kalpate. That bhakti that is contrary to these texts is a disturbance to the society. So someone may, I've seen this happen, the devotee may quote the verse and say, therefore, see, we have to follow the Smriti, the Manu Smriti, which tells us it's really the karma marg, it's all about varnashram, or this Purana or that one, and so on and so forth. But the verse itself, as cited by Rupa Goswami, pertains to those who reject the Vedic literature,
la literatura
the
védica,
Buddhists,
los budistas,
and in some instances
y en algunas
express what looks
instancias
like
expresan
bhakti.
lo que
So
parece ser
there are
bhakti.
Buddhist sects
Hay
that
sectas
worship, for
budistas
example,
que, por
I think Amitabha
ejemplo,
Buddha or something like that.
adoran
They want to
Amitabha
go to the
Buddha,
Buddha Loka,
quieren irse a Buddha
and
Loka,
there everybody's in the penultimate stage
y allá todo el mundo
of
se
attaining
encuentra en el
nirvana, and
penúltimo
from that place
estadio justo
it's
antes de
easy to
Nirvana,
attain nirvana. And if
y de ahí
you
es más
study
fácil
that,
obtener
their
el
texts and so
Nirvana.
forth, they
Y
sound
si
like they're right
estudian
out of the Srimad
los
Bhagavatam. Just
textos
chant
de
the name of
ellos,
the Buddha. Doesn't matter if your
parece
eyes are closed or
sacado
you're
del Srimad
asleep.
Bhagavatam. Dice
His
que
name
solo
is
se cante el
sacred, and
nombre
worship him, and so
de
on and so
Buddha, de
forth.
Amitabha Buddha, o
So it
sea,
looks like
parece
here's bhakti here,
nuestro
but
sendero.
according
Uno
to the
parece,
verse,
uno dice
because the
es bhakti,
Buddhists reject
pero según este
the
verso de Rupa Goswami, debido a que los budistas
revelation,
rechazan la
the
revelación
scripture,
de las escrituras,
then that verse has been cited by Rupa Goswami to say, well, that
este
kind of
verso de
bhakti
Rupa
is actually
Goswami se
disturbance
cita para decir que este tipo de bhakti en
to those
realidad
who actually want to practice bhakti.
es una
And that's how it's
molestia
used. Now,
para
Jiva
los que
Goswami,
verdaderamente quieren
taking a step
practicar el
further,
bhakti.
comments that this does not mean that
Pero
those who
esto
are
no
on the
quiere
path of
decir que
bhakti
los que estén en el sendero
are
del bhakti
obliged to follow everything in every
tengan
smriti,
que
every
seguir
shruti,
cualquier
every
shruti, cualquier smriti,
purana,
cualquier purana.
and so forth. No, is for the devotees, it means
Para los
relevant to the
devotos
path that
quiere
you're
decir
on, the bhakti
conforme
path
sea
of
relevante
Uttama Bhakti, given by Chaitanya
con el
Mahaprabhu and
sendero
Rupa
que
Goswami.
estamos siguiendo
You should follow the
de Chaitanya
scriptures that
Mahaprabhu y de
pertain
Rupa
to
Goswami.
that.
Tenemos que seguir
There are
las
other scriptures that
escrituras
pertain,
que
as I
se
said earlier, to
conforman
other
con eso.
paths,
Hay
like the Varnashram
escrituras
path.
que se refieren a otros
That we're not on
senderos,
that
como el
path.
del Varnashram. Y nosotros no tenemos nada que
There
ver
may
con
be
el
some
Varnashram.
places where the two, run in parallel and so forth, but
Se pueden ver
they're different
instancias donde los dos
paths.
senderos parecen
So everything that
correr de
pertains
forma
to
paralela, pero
Varnashram
son senderos
doesn't
diferentes.
pertain to those on the path of Uttam Bhakti. And to think that our bhakti depends on following such injunctions is to have your bhakti covered
Entonces,
by karma, which Rupa Goswami says that's not the path we're on.
en el
Gyan
caso
karmati
del
and
bhakti
avritam.
cubierto
Our
por el
bhakti should
karma,
not be
Rupa Goswami
covered by
dice, no
gyan
es
or
esto que debería
karma,
ser bhakti,
or the
ser
thinking
bhakti, y el
that
bhakti no tiene que
by
estar mezclado, no puede estar mezclado
accepting Varnashram,
con
my
jnana,
position in
con
bhakti
karma.
will be enhanced.
No es que
Or
aceptando
by
cosas del
foregoing
Varnashram,
Varnashram
mi bhakti se
obligation,
va
which
a
there are many,
mejorar,
my bhakti will be
o rechazando todas
negatively
las
affected. To
direcciones
think like that
del
and
Varnashram,
conduct
mi bhakti
oneself
va a
like that is to
sufrir.
have one's bhakti covered by karma. Or to think that you can enhance your bhakti by gyan and vairagya.
Tampoco si uno piensa
as
que
a
el bhakti de
means,
uno va a mejorar
this would be to have your bhakti
a
covered by
través de la
gyan. Rupa
renuncia
Goswami says gyan and
o del
vairagya,
jnana.
which
Rupa
are
Goswami dice
angas of the
jnana
path of
vairagya,
gyan, are not
que
angas
son
of the path of
angas
bhakti.
en el sendero
Vasudevi
del
bhagavati
bhakti,
bhakti
no
yoga
son angas en
prayokita.
el sendero
Janayati ashu
del bhakti.
vairagyam gyanam charahoitakam. Rather than being angas or part of the way,
En vez de ser
they are
angas del
a
método,
result
son
of bhakti.
resultados
So
del bhakti.
Vasudevi Bhagavati, Bhakti
Vasudeva
Yoga Prayojita,
Bhagavati,
Bhakti to Vasudev,
bhakti
Jani
para
Ashu
Vasudev,
Vairagyam, Ashu Vairagyam Jnanam Cha Yadahoitukam. Very quickly on the path of
de
bhakti,
forma muy rápida
detachment and knowledge show up
van a aparecer. El
as a result.
conocimiento y el
Whereas
espíritu
in
de
the Gyan
renuncia
mark,
van a
they are the
aparecer de
way.
forma
You have to
espontánea
practice
y muy
vairagya.
rápida,
You have to run off to
practicando
the
el bhakti.
Himalayas.
No hay
Try
que
to
irse al
scale the highest
Himalaya
frozen peaks and live in the cave.
y vivir en una
But Chaitanya
cueva.
Mahaprabhu has come
Chaitanya
and like a
Mahaprabhu vino
volcano
como un
erupted,
volcán
melted those snow peaks, right?
y
Flattened the
derritió
mountains,
estas
turned climbing
cumbres
into dancing,
heladas del
turned
Himalaya
meditative silence into
y
song.
convirtió el
In the
silencio meditativo de
flatlands of
estos yogis.
Navadvip, the Ganges has come like the
O sea que
Mahaprabhu's
con su
teaching from
aparición,
the cave
Mahaprabhu
of Vyas,
convirtió
right?
toda la
Hidden
escena.
away.
Ya no
When
hay
he
que
wrote the
ir al
Bhagavatam,
Himalaya
it's flowed
con la
down
nieve,
like the
sino
Ganga
lo transfirió todo a la tierra llana del delta del Ganges, donde se encuentra disponible para todo el mundo. No hay que vivir en una cueva, en silencio, meditar. Son cosas que escribí en mi comentario. De todos modos, el punto es que no queremos que nuestro bhakti se encuentre cubierto por jnana y karma.
The Bhakti Shastras. We have our own Shastras. We follow Bhagavatam,
seguimos los Bhakti Shastras.
Bhagavad Gita, of
Tenemos
course,
nuestro propio
and
Shastra. Tenemos el
maybe
Bhagavatam,
some
Bhagavad
other
Gita,
sattvic Puranas that we include that
los
are
Puranas sátvicos.
useful and helpful to us. And then we have our own canon, if you will,
Luego
scriptural
tenemos
canon,
nuestro
books of the Goswamis. As Srinivasacharya said,
más guía
Nana
encontramos
Shastra,
en el libro de
Vicharana
los
no
Goswamis.
Sadharma Samstapako,
Se dice
Lokanam Hitakarano,
Nipunao.
Tribhuvane Manyo Sharanyakaro. For the benefit of all the people
Para el
of the
beneficio
world.
de todo el mundo.
Hitakarano, out of
Toda
compassion.
la gente de
These
todo el mundo.
Goswamis, Rup, Sanatan, Jiva Goswami, Raghunath
Gracias a su
Raghunath
compasión,
Gopal
estos Rupa Goswami,
they turned these
Raghunath,
bhaktis,
todos los
the
Goswamis,
sacred text, and extracted from them the
extrayeron,
very essence about bhakti.
sacaron de
And then they wrote
estos textos la esencia del Bhakti y escribieron comentarios sobre el Bhakti, todos los Bhakti Shastra, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Bhagavatam.
So these are our books, our
Estos
Hari
son
Bhakti
nuestros
Vilas,
libros,
which from our own
Hari Bhakti
Sangha.
Vilasa,
His Grace Prabhupada is now coming out soon with a publication.
que dentro de nuestro Sangha, Prabhupada está saliendo con una publicación en inglés.
We don't need Manusmriti or so forth, so on.
O sea, no necesitamos el Manusmriti ni nada de
written a
eso.
long time ago in Sanskrit.
No todo lo que se encuentre escrito en sánscrito y que sea antiguo
Maybe something's written in English or in Spanish right now.
nos va a servir para el Bhakti.
Or Polish.
Por ejemplo, ahora hay muchas escrituras que se encuentran en polaco, en inglés, en sueco, en español. Inglés.
Insightful and realized devotee. Commenting on a text,
escritos por devotos con realizaciones que comentan.
So, just to emphasize that point.
Entonces, justo para enfatizar este punto. Bueno, siguiente.
Thank you very much. Are you, just a quick question, are you on that cellular data? Because the internet's slightly choppy at times.
I'll get on. I hope if I get off, I'll have to get back on. Hopefully it won't.
I think it should be fine. It'll just maybe freeze for a few seconds.
I have a follow-up on that, Gurudev. That's also, doesn't Krishna say, Krishna tu Swayam Bhagavan, just give up all other forms of religion and just follow me? So that's
Vijay Kumara dice,
pretty much telling us
también Krishna dice,
we should focus on him.
Bueno, no sé si es Vijay Kumara, pero dice, en el Gita dice,
did you hear the follow-up? Vijay had a follow-up question. Vijay, can you repeat it? Because Guru Maharaj is offline.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Krishna, another reason we do it, Krishna says, Krishna tu Swayam Bhagavan, follow me, give up all forms of religion. I don't know the actual, just, stop all that nonsense. I'm the one, and, this is it, so.
There you go. Gita Upanishad, right? Very good. That's the conclusion of the Bhagavad Gita. Give up Varnashram, give up Gyan,
que rechacemos, renunciemos
is what he's saying.
el karma y el yama, eso es lo que dice
Take
ese verso,
bhakti, accept bhakti,
y que tomemos y aceptemos bhakti hacia él.
So there you go, the essence of the Vedas. Gita Upanishad,
ahí está la esencia de los Vedas, el Bhagavad Gita. Gracias.
So the next question is from Gayatri.
Gurunesha dice, la siguiente pregunta es de Gayatri.
Hi Krishna, can you hear me?
Hare Krishna, ¿me escuchas?
So, I am wondering.
Me estoy preguntando.
I've gone through an experience recently
Recién fui
where I
a través
have
de
been
una
in a lot of pain.
Donde tuve muchísimo dolor.
It's one thing hearing
Algo
that
es escuchar
we burn karma and we're not given more than we can handle, and we're trying to apply ourselves so that we can remember in times of suffering, we can remember Krishna. But the experience that I had, I guess it's somewhat embarrassing in a way, but all I could think was just like, why? And this is too much. I cannot
me avergüenza
handle
decirlo,
this.
pero todo lo que tenía
And
en
just
la
like,
mente
just
era,
please make the
¿por
pain go
qué
away,
esto es
because this
demasiado? Por
I
favor,
cannot focus on
haz que se
chanting. I
vaya ese
cannot
dolor. No
want to
puedo
want you.
enfocarme en el
I can barely
canto.
pray to want you.
No puedo
So,
ni
like, how
orar,
can we
nada, ¿no?
apply ourselves to? Because afterwards, now that I look back at it,
Porque después, ahora que ha pasado el dolor,
I can think realistically.
puedo pensar de
Okay,
forma más
maybe I'm
realista.
burning off some karma, whatever it
Bueno,
is.
sí,
But
a lo mejor fue
when
karma que se
we were
quemó,
in
que
those
se
situations, it just
agotó.
seems so overwhelming. Like, how
Pero
can we
durante
apply
la
ourselves? What can
situación
we
parece
do
tan
to be
insuperable
able to remember Krishna in those
que
situations?
uno, lo último que le pasa es
And then I'm also
pensar en
wondering,
Krishna.
you know,
También
since
me
like
pregunto,
we're not this body,
¿cómo no
because that's
somos
the
este
the whole
cuerpo?
thing. You know, when you're in
Que es
that
la
suffering,
base
you
de
feel
los
that
que nos
pain. It's like, I'm
enseña.
not this body, yeah, but I'm experiencing a lot of pain still. And
Uno dice, no soy el cuerpo, pero
if
sin
we're
embargo el
not this
cuerpo me
body
duele.
and we're not this
Si no
mind,
soy este
it's kind of
cuerpo,
like
ni
a
siquiera
second
la
question, I
mente,
guess. But
es
can we
una
say that
segunda
we are to
pregunta
some
que tengo.
extent the way we treat others? So that's like not related, but
También se dice que nosotros
on
somos
the topic
la
of body.
forma en la que tratamos a la gente.
Are we the way that we treat others?
Dumais dice, no somos,
Yeah,
estamos
like,
hechos de la forma en que tratamos a los demás.
yeah, I don't know how else
Gayatri
to
dice, sí,
phrase
no sé
that.
cómo
It
explicarlo bien.
was just something that I was wondering
Es
if,
una cosa que
You
tenía en la
know, do
cabeza.
unto others as you would have them do unto you. But to answer
Dumais
your
dice así,
question
como dice
broadly,
Jesucristo.
um,
Haz a los
I think
demás
that
como quieres que te hagan a ti. Como dice,
that pain or suffering, let's
bueno,
call it
el
suffering,
dolor, el sufrimiento,
is a result of material attachment. It
es
exists in the
un
mind.
resultado
Doesn't
del
exist in the
apego
body. It only
material.
exists in the mind, because if you didn't have a mind connected to your body, then your body wouldn't feel any pain, right?
Y esto
So
es
it's in
algo
the
que existe en
mind.
la mente y en el cuerpo también, porque si uno
And the
no tuviese
mind
una
is, as
mente
Arjuna has
conectada con el cuerpo,
told
no
us in
sentiría
Bhagavad
el
Gita,
dolor.
it's difficult to control. He compared it to trying to capture the wind.
Como dice Arjuna, es más
Formidable
fácil
task,
controlar el
right?
viento que controlar la mente.
And so
Entonces,
there are going to be times
sí,
when
puede
there's a
haber
virtual hurricane
ocasiones
or a tornado
donde hay
of
un huracán
circumstances that
de
make it difficult
circunstancias que hacen de forma que
to
sea
control the mind.
difícil.
Look at the circumstances that Arjuna himself found himself in. He was in the middle
Piensa en
of a
las
huge
circunstancias en
war
que se encontraba
and so
Arjuna.
on and so forth.
Estaba en una guerra, etc.
It's a given that in the
Se
early
toma por
stages of our
garantizado
practice, before we attain
que
nishta,
en los
that our
estadios de
bhajan, our
práctica,
practice, our remembrance of
antes de llegar
Krishna,
al
our ability
nishta,
to chant, is going to be
están
unsteady.
caracterizados por
It's unsteady
esta
because we have anarthas coming
falta
from our
de
attachments, which cause these,
estabilidad,
type of
porque tenemos
circumstances, emotional
apegos
pain,
que nos
suffering,
causan estas
and so on and
circunstancias,
so forth. And we
dolor
can understand it theoretically
emocional,
that it's the
físico,
result of
y podemos
I wasn't
entender de
attached
forma
to
teórica
this person who did this, who acted like this when I thought she was like that, and now it's affecting me so much. My daughter did this. How could she do that?
cualquier cosa. Mi hija hizo esto, me hizo esto,
If I
¿cómo lo
wasn't
pudo
attached,
hacer?
well, I
Si
wouldn't
no
feel it.
tuviera
You can express
apego,
it to your friends, and they go, "Oh yeah, they try to be empathetic, but then
no
they
lo
just go home.
sentiría.
Don't think about it again, because
Se lo
they're
diría a
not
mi amiga.
attached.
Mi
So we can
amiga
source it out.
trata de
I
ser
think we can very
compasiva, pero luego se va a
logically
su casa y ya no piensa en eso porque
understand
ya no tiene el mismo apego en la
that
situación.
if I was not attached, I would not be feeling like this.
Y esto mismo
So
demuestra como si
wisdom
yo misma no
there
tuviera
of the Gita, where
apego
Krishna says
a todo lo que
that
me pasó, no me sentiría de esta
suffering
forma.
is
Por eso que
born
Krishna dice que
from
el
the womb
sufrimiento
of attachment.
nace del
This is the wisdom
vientre
of the
del
Buddha
apego.
also, right? He thought that let's just focus on what's really happening here. We're all suffering. And what's the cause? Well,
Enfoquémonos en lo que está ocurriendo aquí. Estamos todos sufriendo. ¿Y la causa es?
Very much
Está muy
it
entrecortado.
broke off. Could you repeat from what you said? What's the cause of suffering?
Ahora se
What's the
lo voy a
cause of
repetir.
suffering? Oh, it's attachment.
La causa del sufrimiento es el
And I
desapego.
was saying in the
Y
Gita,
estaba
did you hear
diciendo
that
que en
part?
Gita, hasta ahí me escucharon.
In the Gita, Krishna says
En el
that
Gita, Krishna dice
suffering is born
que el
from the
sufrimiento
womb of
nace del
attachment.
vientre del
So
apego.
this is a very practical, logical,
Entonces,
something that we can
Esto
experience.
es algo muy
Because if we
lógico y
weren't, we can
práctico,
see that somebody else is not attached
porque vemos
to the
que
fact, to my
si
car, but
otra
my car
persona no está
is now totaled.
apegada,
And so it's a whole problem for me, and
por
because I'm
ejemplo,
attached to
si
it
yo
and the
destruyo
implications of it, what I wanted to get
mi
out of it, I
carro
wanted to
y
be able to go to
estoy muy
work with it, I
triste y
wanted to
enojado,
drive my kids to the soccer game or
ya no
whatever.
puedo ir a recoger a
It
mis hijos del partido, de lo que sea, y
now
me ocasiona
gone.
mucho dolor, pero para otra persona no.
You can tell your friend about this on
Se
you
lo voy a
because
decir
you're
a mi
attached. So
amigo
there's any number of ways we can sort this
y
out
para mi
and come to
amigo no
that
va a ser el
conclusion. As I
mismo
say, this was the wisdom
sufrimiento.
of the Buddha. He concluded that what's happening here is
Esta es
that
la
we're
conclusión
all
del
suffering.
Buda.
And the solution, the
También,
cause of it is our
el
thirst.
sufrimiento
Trishna
viene
means
del
thirst, the thirst
apego,
for things.
de nuestra sed,
Thirst for things.
sed que
And if
tenemos
you
para
get the
cosas,
things, well, then you have to
Trishna.
worry that they're going to be gone, you know, or
En la
they will be
medida en que
gone.
adquisimos
Even if you don't
cosas,
worry about it,
nos
and
surge
then
la
you'll be left
preocupación
suffering because of your
porque en
attachment. So
cualquier
all this
momento se
attachment
pueden
is
ir
just
estas
suffering.
cosas,
It's just
podemos
going on in your
perderlas.
head, and the cause is attachment.
Este
So you can't
sufrimiento está
really
en
get
nuestra
away from
cabeza
this.
y
This is very sound, reasonable. It's not some
todo está
esoteric
debido al apego.
idea that Krishna has a planet, it's over there, and you're going to get there, and it's going to be like this. And it's very down to earth.
Esto no tiene nada con este conocimiento teórico que existe Krishna loca y Krishna está allá y va a ser así. Esto es algo muy cerca de nosotros, el dolor, el sufrimiento.
Can you hear me?
It was breaking up again. You said it's down to earth. If you could continue from there.
Yeah, it's down to earth. It's practical. It's not some esoteric thing like Krishna Lila that you can't see. It's right in front of you.
Es algo
We
que
have to
tenemos
embrace these kind of foundational grounding features of our tradition, which correspond cross-culturally with other great spiritual traditions, like here I'm citing the Buddha also, right? This is the kind of basic 101 wisdom of genuine spiritual pursuit. And we have to be grounded in these things so that when we find ourselves in times like you're describing, like I can't.
Entonces, cuando nos encontremos, como dijiste, en una situación donde pensamos, no, ya no puedo con este dolor, Krishna, ¿por qué? Otra vez se cortó.
Ramesh, are you there?
Yeah, lost me again, huh?
You're definitely on the cellular side.
Yeah. Oh, no, it went off the cellular thing.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
Should I try to get back on it?
I think so. Yeah, it's very bad now.
Guru Maharaj está tratando de conectarse con la red de su celular.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Bueno, vuelto, ¿me escuchan?
Yeah, so what I was saying is that, you know, that
lo que estaba diciendo es
we
que
get into
otra vez está entrecortado.
We have attachments. Can you hear me now?
I think you better start from the beginning.
Okay, well, we find ourselves in these type of overwhelming situations.
Nos encontramos en
estas situaciones, get in the way and so forth. And then we why does this happen? Why it's so bad? I can't even chant. I can't even practice.
Esto es tan malo, ni siquiera puedo cantar ni practicar.
Working. Maybe this isn't real. But we have to gravitate towards these foundational kind of principles to understand what's happening. It makes sense.
Tenemos que
I have attachments. Therefore,
enfocarnos en esto,
and now that's showing up in the form of suffering because of my attachments. I can't even give them up, so I'm going to have to bear the suffering, at least for now. But I can understand it. I get clarity, and I don't have doubts in the path. And if I think like that, and I get grounded in that, then I can get strength in those circumstances to apply myself in the practices of chanting. Even though it's difficult, my mind is somewhere else, I bring myself into it, back into my practice by kind of standing on the ground of these kind of principles, which I say like our 101 spiritual life, like not the body, suffering comes from attachment. These things you can experience it. You can the reason that's why the Buddha was very pragmatic. Like, let's just get to the, everybody's suffering. Okay, we all agree. Okay, now let me explain to you. Here's why. Okay, we got it. We got it. That's it. Two things. It's all over. Now, now to give it up.
No es así de fácil.
How to do that? He had 8 steps. Whatever.
Y de ahí.
So we have ours and whatnot, and our trajectory is a little different than the Buddha's, but that's what I would recommend. You have to gravitate towards the lower end of the philosophy, the ground of it all.
Estas son las bases de nuestra filosofía.
I'm having all this trouble. Do I suddenly think that must mean I'm this body actually, and there's no meaning to life? There's no
dolor,
God, or some other God? No, those are not
Quiere
very
decir
good.
Que no funciona lo que la práctica del bhakti no funciona, lo que se dice. Yo sé que no soy el cuerpo, todo eso, sin embargo, no.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Será la práctica que no funciona, seré yo.
Next question is from Kanaram.
Gracias. La siguiente pregunta es de Kanurama. Sí.
Good morning, Guru Maharaj.
Buenos días, Guru Maharaj.
I think my question is kind of like a psychological question, or
like
maybe something in the way that devotees may feel like a little bit neurotic. And I'm not really like
a veces los devotos se sienten un poquito neuróticos.
Right now, but I have in the past.
Yo no sé yo que me siento así ahora, pero vi muchos devotos en los medios sociales.
My question is so what do we think for ourselves, or what do we say to those people who are philosophically inclined to ask about the nature of our practice as
una inclinación filosófica
something that requires constant self-improvement. And so I might ask myself, am I a constant self-improvement project? Or do I always need to feel like I'm improving or fixing myself in order to feel valuable? Or do I have value
ejemplo,
right now as I am?
Hablando del tema del mejoramiento personal de uno, ¿debería sentirme que soy un proyecto donde siempre me mejoro?
I think I understand what you're saying. So some people might fault the path by looking at it like that.
Mm-hmm.
You have a psychological neurosis in which you think you always have to improve yourself in order to be worthy.
Que tienen que siempre tienen que estar mejorándose para sentirse dignos. Pero una perspectiva psicológica sana, saludable, es una donde uno tiene valor aún teniendo defectos. Entonces, deberían dejar la conciencia de Krishna porque es solo una neurosis donde uno trata de mejorarse todo el tiempo y nunca se siente que ha llegado a ningún lado. Guru dice, bueno, hay una diferencia entre una perspectiva psicológica y una trascendental. Hay momentos en los que coinciden y hay momentos en que hay una divergencia entre los dos. No se puede aplicar toda cosa que se encuentre en una perspectiva psicológica a uno que se encuentra en la plataforma espiritual. Nosotros estamos tratando de hacer progreso espiritual. Estamos tratando de llegar a la iluminación, al amor de Dios. Cuando digo eso, lo que estamos diciendo es que estamos tratando de lograr todo lo que podemos ser, descubrir nosotros mismos. Somos parte de Dios, entonces estamos tratando de descubrir nuestra relación. No estamos tratando de mejorar a nosotros, sino encontrarnos. Estamos tratando de descubrir nosotros mismos en cuanto unidades de Satchidananda.
And our sense of the self
Entonces, nuestro sentido del ser es diferente de la concepción del ser que tienen en una visión del mundo psicológica. Uno podría ser completamente activo en su perseguimiento de la realización de Dios y la iluminación. Uno podría hacer esto de forma completa y no sin estar violando de una forma estos principios psicológicos que dicen que esta tendencia, ese deseo de mejorarse a uno mismo de forma material es una neurosis. Lo que dice la psicología es válido. O sea, la psicología dice que a un cierto punto tenemos que aceptar nuestros defectos psicológicos, físicos.
It's built into our teaching that it's almost an oxymoron to say, material improvement.
Pero en nuestra enseñanza
as much as you could become fully materially improved,
es un oxímoro decir, hablar de mejoro
it all washes out,
material,
right?
No existe.
So
Cualquier cosa que mejoremos a nivel material, en el momento de la muerte,
we do include
desaparece.
The effort in a balanced way.
It cut off for quite a while. You were saying that it's built into our scriptures or something like that.
Well, it's built into our perspective that there's room for improving ourselves materially on a psychological level.
Que hay campo para que nos mejoremos
we will
a nivel
embrace that
psicológico,
idea.
material. Eso es un
We agree with the
ideal
idea.
que abrazamos,
There is a
con
kind
que
of
estamos de
neurosis that
acuerdo.
people get into
Y
in
sí,
trying to constantly improve themselves and
hay
thinking
un
they have to
momento en que
improve
uno se
themselves
convierte
in so
en
many ways in
neurótico
order to be
tratando de
worthwhile. We disagree
mejorarse.
with that. We agree that's a neurosis.
Nosotros
We
estamos de
don't
acuerdo
teach
que
that we
es
should
una
be doing that.
neurosis. No enseñamos que uno debería
And we
hacerlo.
don't equate our effort to
Tampoco
uncover ourselves, so to speak, and to love God with that type of neurosis.
Deseo de descubrirnos y de desarrollar
we
el
do
amor
see that there is
para
room for
Dios con
improving
esta
ourselves
neurosis.
materially, say
Algo
psychologically,
es mejorarse de forma
physically,
material,
exercising,
psicológica, física,
and
hacer
with some balance,
ejercicio
we will be engaged in such with ultimately a view to employ that which we gain from it in our own spiritual practice.
y hacer esto para que nos sirva en nuestra
we agree with the principle.
práctica
We
espiritual.
can hardly be
O sea, estamos de
guilty
acuerdo
of
con el
it
principio.
if we are conducting ourselves properly in terms of sadhana,
si nos
because again,
portamos de
there's
forma
two different
correcta
worldviews of what the
como
self
sadhakas.
is to begin with.
Bueno, por empezar, hay
And,
dos visiones de lo que es el ser.
And we don't and with regard to
Y con respecto,
also I would say with
también
regard
quisiera
to our
decir, con respecto a nuestra
status within bhakti,
posición dentro del
we
bhakti,
emphasize that we should
nosotros
understand
subrayamos que
our adhikar,
hay
the
que
level of our
entender nuestro
eligibility, and
adhikar, el
apply
nivel de
ourselves
nuestra
accordingly.
calificación, y comportarnos de forma conforme. Quiere
That's
decir,
the idea there is to bring
la idea
balance and
allí
not
es
feel
de
because
llevar
I'm on this
balance
level
y no
instead of the
que
higher
uno se
level,
sienta
there's something wrong with
como
me.
estoy a
and it's a
este
problem.
nivel y todavía no soy un
No, if you apply
paramahansa,
yourself on the
hay
level
algo
that you're
malo
at,
conmigo. No, en la manera en que te
then you'll
apliques,
naturally go to another level.
naturalmente vas a
Rather than
pasar de
trying to go
estadio,
to
vas a
another
subir
level,
de
apply
estadio,
yourself
en vez de tratar
appropriately to the practices that you can
de ser a un nivel,
incorporate
al nivel que no es el tuyo.
given your adhikar. Even in Varnashram,
bien, según
you
el
have
nivel en
your
que estés,
Brahmins, your Vaishyas, your Kshatriyas,
haz
and
las
your
cosas que
Sudras,
deberías
and if
hacer.
each of them applies themselves according to the dharma of those
También en el
castes,
Varnashram Dharma,
that's
si uno
sattvic.
se comporta de forma perfecta como debería comportarse un
The
Shudra, un
Gita tells
Brahmana,
us, the Sudra should not
un
try to do the
Kshatriya,
work of a Brahmin,
eso es
thinking
perfecto.
that there's some fault in his endeavor.
Se dice que el Shudra
There's
no
fault in
debería
every
hacer el
endeavor in the
trabajo de
material
un
world,
Brahmana
in all the
pensando que hay algo malo con
statuses.
ser un Shudra.
So I'm, talking about it in a broad way, but I think that it's important
estoy hablando de
to go
eso de
back to
forma
the
muy
beginning of what I said.
pero es importante
You
con
cannot
respecto a
apply
lo que dijimos en el
the
principio.
teachings of a psychological
No se
worldview
pueden aplicar las
entirely
enseñanzas
to
de una
someone who has a
perspectiva
spiritual
psicológica
worldview
a uno que tiene una perspectiva
and say that because you want to become
trascendental
enlightened,
y decir que
therefore
como
you've got a
quieres
psychological
llegar a la iluminación y
neurosis.
quieres
No.
mejorarte
Does that help?
constantemente, quiere decir que eres neurótico porque deberías aceptarte como como
Yeah,
eres.
it's good to see that there are like two
¿Está bien?
ideologies that
Abraham
are
dice,
sort of being conflated
sí,
there.
es bueno ver que
Yeah.
hay dos ideologías que están
Yeah, definitely.
en conflicto de una forma.
And you say, you
dice,
should
sí,
be
y
kind to
también
yourself, you should
se dice,
love
uno debería amarse y
we say the same thing, but we just have a different idea
ser bueno con sí
what the
mismo.
self is.
Nosotros decimos lo mismo, pero
And we're
hay
not
que
here to beat
primero
ourselves
establecer lo
up,
que es
in
el
a
ser.
healthy way. We may
Nosotros no
have
estamos
some
aquí para
regret.
pegarnos
There's a place for that, some
y
lamentation.
castigarnos todo el rato.
The lamentation of great spiritual teachers that we find in their songs is something. This is a whole different.
Cuando nuestros acharyas se lamentan
this is an ideal.
mucho,
But it would be hard to
no es
communicate
el
these things
mismo,
to people who have living in a psychological
cuando se
worldview.
lamentan por no haber
Therefore, you have to turn the psychological worldview on its head. What's the
impacto.
problem with the psychological worldview? Everything's seen through a
El
psychological lens
con la
entirely.
perspectiva psicológica,
What does that end up with? What does
al
that make
final,
of you?
¿cómo acabamos?
Yeah.
¿Qué es ¿A dónde nos lleva la perspectiva psicológica si la arrastramos hasta el final de su visión?
¿Qué más? Follow-up question from Krishna Kanaya Didi.
Hay una pregunta
to your
de
previous
Kanaya
one, previous answer. She says, because you mentioned that the Buddhists have their path of the Eightfold Path, and we have ours. She says, aren't we as Vaishnavas aspirants in a way, not also following the Eightfold Path? Right view, right resolve, right speech, right conduct, right love.
No se puede decir que nosotros,
en
cuanto Vaishnavas, también seguimos el sendero de las 8 pautas del Buda.
You could say that,
dice, sí, de una forma se puede decir que
but obviously there's more to our path than that. And
que lo hacemos, pero en nuestro sendero hay mucho más. Se encuentra el samadhi, otras cosas que no se encuentran en la recta vía.
That
dice,
if you look at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's path, then you can make a good argument for the fact
si analizamos el
the
sendero de Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, uno podría hacer que hay aspectos de otros senderos
rather inclusive, are included in it, and as a result, the results of those paths are included in it.
Y también los resultados de seguir los otros senderos se encuentran en el Bhakti. Los resultados de seguir el Varnashram se encuentran en el Bhakti. Los resultados del Jnana se encuentran
Buddha is an incarnation
en el
of
Bhakti.
Vishnu, so
El Buddha es una
Buddha is
encarnación de
included in
Vishnu.
Vishnu. Vishnu is included in Krishna.
Buddha está incluido en Vishnu, Vishnu está incluido en Krishna.
Could there be another way of looking at it also, that there's a Vaishnava version of these eightfold things like right speech, harikatha, right effort, is harinam, whatever.
Vaishnava de todo esto, por ejemplo, la buena forma
so
de
the next
hablar,
question is from Krishna Sevaka.
Kirtan, la buena forma, etcétera. ¿Cómo dices? Sí. La siguiente pregunta.
Haribol. Can't hear you.
No te escucho.
Can't hear you.
Please accept my obeisances. You can hear me now then?
Ahora sí me escucha.
Oh, okay.
You have to unmute the audio.
I did that. Let's see.
I can hear you, but for some reason,
nosotros lo escuchamos. Pero
shall I type it in then?
You can tell it to me and I can ask it.
Puede decirla a mí, yo la repito.
I've been reading his Circle of Friends book and
leyendo
regarding Balaram.
Su libro sobre el círculo de amigos.
In the Apricot Lila,
dice que en el Apricot
Lila, he performs all kinds of variegated expressions of different rasas,
Krishna,
leaving Vraj, marrying in Aishwarya marrying the Naga gopis, coming back to Vraj. And so my question is, how is he different in the apricot lila than the prakat lila, where all these things seem to be going on in the service of Krishna, asking him to do all these things?
Entonces, ¿cuál es la diferencia
and
en
how that relates
lila
to us in our relationship and understanding and expanding our relationship?
Bueno, voy a
Does that make any sense?
It's going to be a little hard for me to formulate that question. If you go, you see at the bottom bar there, it says English or interpretation. Do you see that kind of like a gray thing at the bottom?
Le pegas ahí donde dice inglés.
I'll type it in.
Okay. So
and then you can go to the next one.
No lo veo. Bueno, lo voy a escribir.
Yeah, sounds good.
Pasemos a la
okay, the
siguiente
next
pregunta.
question is from Brighton, from Amrit Gopal.
Guru Nishta dice, la siguiente pregunta es de Brighton, Amrita Gopal.
I'm ready. Hare Krishna.
Can't hear you.
Hare Krishna.
Oh, no, that was
No te escucho. Oh, no.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, can you hear me now?
Ahora sí.
Yes, I can.
See, Hare Krishna. I'm so excited to hear your commentary on Navadip Ashtakam. Is it Rupa Goswami's Navadip
De
Ashtakam?
escuchar
Well, some people say it is, yeah.
El de Rupa Goswami.
So on
Guru
that,
dice, si algunos dicen que es de él.
in the second verse,
Bueno,
there is
hablando
some
de eso,
question as to who or what Navadip
tengo
is.
una
And I
pregunta
would love to
sobre
hear from you
lo que
more
es
about
Navadvip.
the abhinna, about the non-difference
Quisiera escuchar sobre la bhimna, la falta de diferencia entre
Well,
Vrindavan y
Rupa
Navadvip.
Goswami says that some people call it Vaikuntha, the Paravyam, the spiritual world.
Llaman a
Some
Navadvip.
people call it Goloka. But indeed, those who know the Tattva
llaman el cielo espiritual para Vyoma, algunos le dicen Vaikuntha, pero los que lo saben le dicen Vrindavan.
If you
entonces
Jiva Goswami makes the
Jiva Goswami
explains, I believe, in the Krishna Sandarbha,
en el Krishna Sandarbha, creo,
or maybe his commentary in Brahma Samhita,
o en su comentario al Brahma Samhita, o en ambos,
that
que
the yantra,
el yantra
Goloka
de Goloka
is configured,
está configurado
like a square,
como un cuadrado, ¿verdad?
In which
en el
there
que
is the hexagon,
se encuentra el hexágono,
and so forth. Can you hear me?
¿Me escuchas?
Yeah. Okay. Sí. And so says that square is called Svetadvip.
Entonces, este cuadrado
everything inside
se
that square is called Svetadvip. But
todo lo que se
inside the square
is
the circle that is called Gokul.
Pero
another
dentro
name
del
for the
círculo
the square is Goloka.
Es Gokula, y otro nombre
Goloka,
para Shvetadvipa es Goloka. Entonces se encuentra Goloka y luego Gokula.
So Gokul is separated from Goloka,
está separado de
Goloka by the
dentro
circle,
de este cuadrado,
that is the circumference around Gokul.
Por la circunferencia circunscribe Gokula.
Then he says that inside the square is Shvetadvip,
dentro
but
del
inside
cuadrado
the circle is Gokul, is Parashvetadvip.
Pero dentro del círculo que está dentro del cuadrado se llama
So another
Parashvetadvip.
idea of Shvetadvip. So
otra idea
outside the circle,
fuera del círculo,
Goloka, that is, there's
Goloka.
some measure of majesty there.
Hay algo
you
de
can find, for
majestuosidad,
example,
por
Radha
ejemplo,
Krishna Lila Swakiya, married.
se encuentra Radha y Krishna
Inside the circle,
casados.
it's Parakiya and the
Dentro del
Braja Lila,
círculo solo
as we
existe
know
Parakiya,
from our Goswamis and so forth, right?
como sabemos, gracias
And,
a los Goswamis.
Vrindavan Das Thakur,
Vrindavan
in
Das
his
Thakur, en
Chaitanya
su
Bhagavat,
Chaitanya Bhagavata,
says,
dice que
he says, what does he say? He says, I'll look it up for you here. I probably got it right here. Let's see. What does he say? He says,
te lo voy a buscar, ¿qué es lo que dice? Dice que
he says, yeah, Sweta Dvip Nam Nabo Dvip Gram,
Shvetadvipa,
Prakashi
Nama, Navadvipa,
Pache.
Grama, etc.
Shvetadvip Nam,
Shvetadvipa, Nama,
Navadvip Gram, and
Navadvipa,
Vede
Grama.
Prakashi Pache. So, and this is exactly what has been done. He says that place called Shvetadvip, that place
Dice,
known as Shvetadvip, is
este lugar
Navadvip,
conocido
the
como
village of
Shvetadvip
Navadvip.
es la aldea de
In
Navadvip.
Prakashiba, it will be revealed in the future.
Esto se verá revelado en el futuro.
And so it's questionable
Entonces,
who wrote what first.
No está seguro quién escribió qué primero, si se escribió primero el Chaitanya Bhagavatam o el Navadvip Ashtaka. Pero Vrindavan Thakur dice, en el futuro esto estará revelado. O sea, está comparando Navadvip con el Parashvetadvip de la explicación de Jiva Goswami.
As far as the future revelation of this, we need to look no further, if you will, than the
solo tenemos que ver
design that Prabhupada came up with for the cover of his first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam that he came to the West with. He made a cover and he had an artist depict it, in which there were
para la portada del Bhagavatam
Vaikuntha planets, and
que se trajo de la India cuando se vino para el occidente.
Goloka,
se ve el loto de Goloka, la flor de loto de Goloka.
Goloka in the center was the Gokula, and there was Radha
en
and
el
Krishna.
Centro con Gokula,
right?
O sea, Radha y Krishna.
And if you make sure you don't lose you here. And if you look over the shoulder of Radha and Krishna,
y si uno se fija detrás de la espalda de Radha y Krishna, en esta representación artística se ve a Mahaprabhu haciendo
this has been spread all over the world. I had something to do with that, distributing that book, for example, all over the world. So we were living
este libro se distribuyó en todo el mundo. Nosotros estábamos viviendo la profecía de Vrindavan Thakur, que esto sería revelado en un futuro. Que Navadvip, que la pequeña aldea de Navadvip, de donde vengo yo, aquí, en la orilla del Ganges, en realidad es Shvetadvip. Y nosotros diríamos, más es el Parashvetadvip, así como lo dice el Navadvip Ashtaka de Rupa Goswami, que identifica a Navadvip con Vrindavan.
The argument can obviously be extended by way of understanding
y esto se podría extender,
right? I mean, excuse me, who Mahaprabhu is. So Mahaprabhu is not an avatar of Krishna, he's Krishna himself.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu es un avatar de Krishna, es
How do we
Krishna
know that?
mismo.
Well, there are any number of reasons.
¿Cómo lo sabemos? Hay un montón de
One would
razones.
be, well, Krishna has 4 qualities that no other
Krishna
manifestation
tiene 4
of Godhead has. He has
cualidades que
Venu
ninguna
Madhurya,
otra
Rupa
forma
Madhurya,
de
Lila
Dios
Madhurya,
tiene. Rupa
and
Madhurya,
Prema
Venu
Madhurya.
Madhurya,
So sweet
Prema
flute,
Madhurya, Lila
sweet
Madhurya.
lilas, sweet love,
Su flauta es
like
dulce,
Rasa
sus
Lila,
lilas son dulces,
sweet prem.
su amor
It's
es
not like the
dulce como
prema of
Rasa Lila.
Goloka, or excuse me, of Vaikuntha, which is
No es como el
all
prema de Vaikuntha que está
and
mezclado con
reverential, very sweet and
reverencia.
charming and intimate and so forth.
Son lilas
So
muy cautivantes y
Varaha is not
dulces.
interested in prema
Baraja
madhurya.
no está interesado en el
Nrsingadev is
prema
not
madhurya.
interested in Lila
Narasimha
Madhurya
no está interesado en
personally,
el lila
right?
madhurya
This has
personalmente.
nothing to do with them. This is
No
only to
tiene
do with
nada que
Krishna.
ver con él, solo
But
tiene que
Chaitanya
ver con
Mahaprabhu was all
Krishna.
concerned about these things.
Pero Chaitanya
This is his
Mahaprabhu no
total
tenía nada más
preoccupation.
en la
What he
cabeza.
says about the flute of
Su
Krishna, and hearing
absorción,
it, thinking about
lo
what
que
it does
dice
for
él sobre
him,
la flauta de Krishna
and the pursuit of the Prema
y
Madhurya,
escuchar
and his
lo que dice
preoccupation with
sobre
the
el
Rupa
conseguimiento
Madhurya of Krishna. So he's an
de la
avatar.
forma de los lilas de
It'd be
Krishna.
hard
Entonces,
to deny.
si él
And he's
fuera un
completely
avatar,
absorbed in these
y también
4 qualities that pertain only to Krishna. So,
él mismo está
and of course,
completamente
as Rupa Goswami says,
absorto
Krishna
en
Prema
estas
Pradayate
4 cualidades de Krishna.
Mahabodhanaya.
Por
His
eso que
character is that he's
Rupa
Mahabodhanaya.
Goswami
Krishna
Dice,
Prema
él
Pradaya.
también es el Mahavadanya.
He gives out Krishna Prema.
Él da a todo el mundo
No other
Krishna
avatar is
Prema.
going to give
Ningún otro
Krishna
avatar
Prema.
da
Right.
Krishna Prema.
So if he's giving Krishna Prema, well, he must be Krishna.
Si
If he's
él mismo da
manifestation
Krishna Prema,
of
tiene
Krishna
que ser
himself, an
Krishna.
avatar of Krishna. So this way we equate him with the avatari, but curiously, he's in a very different
Por eso que lo identificamos como el
position.
avatari,
Namo Mahabharanaya, Krishna Prema
no como un
Pradayate,
avatar.
right? His quality is that he gives
Su cualidad
his guna, that he's magnanimous.
es su
And
magnanimidad,
Krishna Prema Pradaya,
Mahavadanya.
his lila is that
Krishna
he
Prema
gives
Pradaya
out Krishna
quiere
Prema.
decir que él da Krishna Prema.
Namo Mahabharanaya Krishna Prema Pradayate. Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya. His name is Krishna Chaitanya.
Su nombre es Krishna Chaitanya.
Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gora Trise Namaha. Right? And his form is Twisa Krishna, right? It's golden.
Y su forma
So
es
this is a
no
nice verse.
negra,
It describes his
sea
lila, his
dorada,
guna, his quality, his
clara.
lila, rupa, guna, lila.
Entonces, este verso describe su guna, rupa, lila,
So on. So a very
etc.
nice verse. But this is Rupa Goswami reasoning like this. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu must be Krishna.
Por eso que
himself.
Rupa Goswami
Is he giving
concluye
the
Chaitanya
Gyan Kanda?
Mahaprabhu
Karma Kanda?
tiene
No.
que ser Krishna
Gyan
mismo.
Kanda? No.
¿Qué
Upasana
es lo que
Kanda?
nos da
No.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu?
Kevala
Jnana Kanda,
Ananda
Karma
Kanda.
Kanda, Upasana Kanda, no.
Ananda
Kevala
Kanda.
Kanda.
It's only the
Ananda
path
Kanda
of bliss. The
es
beginning
el
to the end.
sendero de la
So
beatitud.
there's so many ways.
de la
If we
dicha.
look, at the
Entonces, de
deeply at the
muchas
Bhagavatam,
formas, si nos
then we
fijamos en
find
el
the
Bhagavatam
apex,
de
the zenith
forma
of the
profunda,
Bhagavatam is there in the
ahí vemos
second
que
to the last of the 5 chapters of the Bhagavatam covering
en la parte más céntrica del
Rasalila.
Bhagavatam,
There,
en el medio de los
Krishna
15 de los
says,
5
Napareham
capítulos
Nirabhadyasam
sobre la
Dutam.
Rasalila, Krishna
He says to the
dice
gopis that
a
I
las
am not
gopis,
able.
yo
In
no
fact, I
soy
just did a
capaz.
rendering of that.
De hecho,
I'll read it to you.
acabo de escribir algo sobre
Took
eso,
me
te lo voy a leer.
quite some time to come up with the way I wanted, but I'm quite
Me
pleased
tomó un
with it.
rato para que
This is
saliera de la
Krishna
forma que
speaking.
quería.
This is the genesis then of Gaur Leela,
Pero
and the Gaur
esta es la
Avatar
génesis del
in
Gaura Avatar, de la aparición de Krishna
Srimad
como
Bhagavatam.
Gaura. En el
I've
Srimad
written this in
Bhagavatam lo
relation to the
encontramos ahí
Pala or the
mismo.
last, the 9th verse after the Astakam, telling us what the fruit of it is. So Napareham Nirabhadya Samjam. Svasadu Krityam Vibudhayusapi Bha. Ya
Está
Mab
leyendo el
Hajan
verso.
Durjana Geha Srinkala Samrishchatadva Pradiyatu Sadhuna. So Krishna says, I'm not
Krishna
able to
dice,
return
no soy
your
capaz de
seva in
devolverles su
kind,
seva
even if I
de
were to
forma
try
correspondiente, ni
until the
siquiera
gods die.
si lo intentaría
Your
hasta que
connection
se
in
mueren
union
los
with me
semidioses.
is immaculate.
La
Loving
conexión de
me,
ustedes
you have
conmigo
severed
es
the
inmaculada.
world knot of hearth and home, so difficult to untie.
Ustedes deshicieron
Thus
el
may your
nudo
saintliness be your
del
recompense.
hogar, de la
And in
casa que
parentheses,
es tan
oh, if only I could
difícil
become so sadhuna. So the verse
deshacer.
ends with the
Y
word
Krishna dice,
sadhuna,
si
which
solo
means
yo
saintliness.
pudiera
And Krishna's
ser
telling the
usado
gopis that
como
your own
ustedes,
devotion, your own saintliness
dice a las gopis,
is
la devoción de ustedes
beyond anything I have to
se
reciprocate in
encuentra más allá
kind
de cualquier cosa que yo tenga que
for.
les pueda
You've
devolver.
given yourself to me so comprehensively.
Ustedes
If I
se
was to
entregaron
try
a mí
until
de
the
forma
gods
tan
die,
completa que
I
si yo lo
wouldn't be
intentara hasta que se
successful.
mueran los
But the word
semidioses, no lo
sadhana, Sanatana
lograría.
Goswami comments in Brihad Bhagavatam,
Sanatana
where he
Goswami
cites this
comenta en el
verse several
Bhagavatam,
times, but the last time he cites it, he says the word sadhana means saintliness, but it can also mean saint. So Krishna is saying that
la
or
palabra
another
sadhana
alternative way of
se
looking at it
refiere
is
a la
Krishna saying,
santidad,
but
pero
maybe
también puede
maybe
decir
a saint
santo.
could repay you.
Krishna
He's
entonces parece
basically
decir,
saying
a lo
that
mejor
Krishna
un
suggests to the gopis
sadhu
that
sí puede
the saintliness
devolverles
that they
este
have is their
amor.
own reward. There's nothing higher than this. However,
Dice Krishna, el
in the
amor de
verse,
ustedes
the
es su
word
propia
sadhana also
recompensa.
refers to a saint.
No hay
So
nada
he could
más.
be implying that
Pero a
Krishna
lo
could,
mejor
if Krishna could himself become a sadhu,
la
a
implicación
saint,
es que
perhaps he could
en la
repay these
palabra sadhu dice
maidens
que si
through
Krishna
his
se pudiera,
saintliness. And of course, this is
pudiera
exactly what he
aparecer como
does,
sadhu,
right?
A lo mejor podría devolverles
He
este
adopts the
amor.
guise of a sadhu and
Por
sings
eso que
in
aparece
Sankirtan of
como
the
un
gopis'
sadhu
virtues. Thus we
y
find
empieza el
that
Sankirtan de
hidden in
las
the verses
virtudes de las
is
gopis.
his intention to openly praise the gopis' prema and that of Radha in particular. And given his nature, to do so with the hidden hope that he might taste that prema
Predicando las
himself.
glorias del amor de Radha en
So
particular.
So
Y en
anyway,
la
the point
esperanza
is
que él mismo
that
vaya a lograr ese
we could
tipo
go
de
on and
amor.
on. There are many arguments to be made
Y
for
bueno, se puede decir mucho más sobre esto.
support the case that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna.
Para
Now,
demostrar que Chaitanya
but he
Mahaprabhu
sure
es
doesn't look like
Krishna.
Krishna. Krishna's dark,
Pero
he's
bueno,
fair.
aquí no
Krishna's
aparenta
the
como
supreme
Krishna. Krishna
enjoyer.
es
He's the
oscuro y
sacrificer.
él es
Right? He's
dorado.
taking
Krishna es el
sannyas and so forth.
supremo
So therefore, it's
disfrutador
hidden.
y
It's
ese es un
hidden. You have to
sannyasi.
undergo, beneath the surface. And
Pero tenemos
with the
que
help of the
fijarnos más
Goswamis,
allá
this is
de la
what they did. They
superficie.
understood.
Esto es lo que hicieron los
This
Goswamis.
Chaitanya is very
Entendieron que
extraordinary.
este Chaitanya es muy extraordinario.
We have to locate him somewhere on the
Tenemos
scriptural
que
map. And that's
encontrarlo
what they did.
en
They
algún
located
lugar
him
de
as
las
the
escrituras.
avatar for
Y
the
eso es lo
Kali
que hicieron.
Yuga.
Lo
And then
identificaron
they also
como
located
al
him in
avatar
terms of
del Kali Yuga.
his ecstasy. And he said, this is Mahabharata. And
Y
they showed it.
también identificaron
They
su éxtasis
located him there on the map.
y su
in
Dhamma
scripture. He's
y
Krishna
vieron
in a
que
particular way.
esto
Everything's
es
turned
Krishna
around here, turned
de una
upside
forma
down. It's like I said
particular
before, like a
y
reverse
aquí
jacket.
en este lila
It's
todo
gold on the
está al
inside
revés,
and dark on the outside, but
como
has
una
gold
chaqueta que
cuffs,
se
and a gold collar. You turn it around, it's got a dark collar and dark
una chaqueta
cuffs and a
negra
gold body.
con
This
detalles
is
dorados que se gira
Gaur Lila. If you look at Gaur Lila,
y
you
se,
find yourself in
y se
Krishna
ve
Lila. You
dentro
look
que
deeply
era
at Krishna Lila, you
dorada
find
y ahora
yourself
tiene detalles
in Gaur
negros.
Lila. Which one is first? Krishnadas Kabiraj Goswami says the fountain of Gaur Lila is
Krishnadas Kaviraj
sprouting,
Goswami dice que la
springing
fuente del
and
Gaur
flowing in all
Lila
directions of Krishna
fluye
Lila.
en todas las direcciones
So
dentro del Krishna Lila.
first the giver, Sridhar Maharaj used to say, then the
Sridhar
gift.
Maharaj decía,
So
primero el que
we're
da y
tasting the gift, we
luego el
think,
don.
whoa, who gave me this? So
¿Quién es que
while
me
we're
dio
tasting the gift
este
of
don
Krishna
del Krishna
Lila,
Lila?
then
Cualquier
our
gusto que
mind goes to
tengamos
Chaitanya
para el Krishna
Mahaprabhu,
Lila,
who gave it to us,
nuestra
right?
mente se va a Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
So given the fact that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna, Gaur
Entonces,
Lila is not
una vez
something separate from
establecido que
Krishna
Chaitanya
Lila.
Mahaprabhu es
It's
Krishna,
the natural extension
el
of
Gaura
Krishna
Lila
Lila.
no tiene nada
Krishna's
separado del
Prakat
Krishna
Lila, his
Lila, es la
manifest Lila,
extensión natural
has
del
its
Krishna Lila.
limitations in terms of what he manifested in the world to do, to taste rasa in his human-like setting, in human society, on location, so to speak.
El Krishna
Wow.
Lila tiene sus limitaciones
So
en
extra
el
added,
mundo
feature.
perfecto, pero
But
en
when
Navadvip
he
se
experienced
ve como dentro de la realidad humana
the love of the gopis and Radha in particular in the Rasa Lila, after he separated from them and saw their
volviendo a Rasa Lila, cuando Krishna se separó de ellas y vio
increase in the absence of him,
hasta qué punto llegó el
when
amor
you're
de las
attached to
gopis en
something and you lose
separación
it,
por
then
él.
how much you love it,
Cuando
care
uno
for it, really comes
pierde
out,
algo
right?
que quería,
So
se
seeing
da
that,
cuenta de lo
and
mucho que lo quería.
this was the point where he realized, oh,
Y ese es el
there's
punto en
something
que
wrong
Krishna
here.
se da cuenta que
I'm
aquí
Rasaraj,
falta algo. Yo
the
soy
king of
Rasaraj,
Rasa,
el rey de
but there's
Rasa,
something I don't know
pero
about
hay algo
Rasa
que no conozco
that
sobre
she's
Rasa.
experiencing.
Ella sí lo está experimentando.
Am I really the king of Rasa?
Entonces, ¿seré yo
This is a problem.
el rey de Rasa?
So
¿Cómo?
how to
¿Qué
solve the
pasa aquí?
problem?
Tengo que
Krishna
solucionarlo.
is very crafty, very, very expert.
Krishna es
So
muy experto.
he solves it by
Entonces lo soluciona
becoming Gaur, right?
apareciendo
Manifesting
como
as
Gaura,
in a golden form,
manifestando su forma
pursuing Radha's
dorada,
bhava. So the Gaur Lila is Krishna
adoptando
Lila.
el
They're
bhava
not
de
separate.
Radha. Entonces,
Therefore, Navadvip must be Vrindavan.
los dos lilas no son
It
separados.
can't be
Navadvip tiene
it
que ser
can't be the outer
Vrindavan.
circle of Golok.
No puede
It can't be
encontrarse en el
Vaikuntha.
círculo
It is those things
externo de
and
Goloka, no
more.
puede ser
It is
Vaikuntha.
Parashrita Dvip.
Es
That's what Rupa
Parashrita
Goswami
Dvip.
is saying
Eso es lo
in the
que dice
second
Rupa
verse of
Goswami
his
en el segundo verso
Navadvipastakam.
de su
Rupa Goswami
Navadvipastakam.
Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Super explanation, Maharaj. Thank you.
Super explicación,
If you don't
Maharaj.
mind, I'd like
Gracias.
to send
Si no te
Violinini and
molesta,
Mother Mohan one
quisiera
song by Vrindavan Das Thakur. I
mandarte
don't know
una
how
canción de
well known
Vrindavan
it
Das
is, but
Thakur.
anyway, the first line is Nachire Nachire Nitai Gaura Dijamaniyai. And I
Dice,
really
Nachire,
love
Nachire,
this song, and I'll
Nitai.
send it via my
Es una
friends, if that's
canción
all
que me
right.
encanta, te la voy a mandar si quieres. Sí, gracias.
So go ahead.
Anything else?
¿Algo más?
There's one more question from Marumangal Radhakanta, if you want to take it now, or should we leave it for next week?
Si la quieres tomar ahora o la semana que
Well,
viene.
he's been a little sick, I saw, so let's try to answer it today.
Okay, so he's asking, what are some methods to keep us humble and to guard us against feelings of elitism directed towards non-devotees and other religious and even
contra los sentimientos de elitismo?
Well, the short answer is you have to look more carefully
a lo que no
at
son
yourself.
devotos y otros
Be honest. Satama is another name. It's honest, truthful for devotees. You have to look at yourself. And you have to look at the goal.
A sí mismo de forma más,
you have to understand what is Krishna prema.
Tenemos que entender lo que es el Krishna prema y lo que es nuestro
It
destino.
blew the mind of Sukadeva Goswami.
Deva Goswami se quedó espeluznado. ¿Cuál es tu posición en comparación a Sukadeva Goswami? Y su mente se quedó espeluznada viendo cómo los amigos de Krishna se comportaban en relación con él. ¿Cómo puede ser? ¿Qué hicieron estos pastorcillos para portarse de esa forma con la persona suprema? Esta es nuestra posición. ¿Cómo llegamos aquí? Gracias a la gracia. ¿Cómo llegamos ahí? Gracias a la misericordia. Tenemos que practicar. ¿Y qué es lo que practicamos? Practicamos cómo lograr la misericordia. Nos esforzamos para que nos llegue a la misericordia. Este es nuestro sendero. ¿Qué posición tiene el orgullo en todo eso? Ninguna. ¿De qué vamos a ser orgullosos? Si todo es debido a la misericordia. Vemos a alguien en otro sendero que tiene más desapego de nosotros, por ejemplo, y pensamos, son mejores de yo, pero yo tengo más suerte porque mi destino es superior. Si solo yo me aplicara como ellos están aplicando en otros senderos. Pero ¿para qué preocuparse de lo que hacen los demás en otros senderos? No sabemos su pasado, no sabemos por qué. Enfoquémonos en nuestra realidad de cada uno. Cada uno tiene que mejorarse a sí mismo. En su realidad personal y luego dentro de nuestro parivar, dentro de nuestra relación con nuestro guru. Y el orgullo no tiene campo, porque conforme vayamos progresando de forma espiritual, nos hace humildes. Entre más crezcamos espiritualmente, más humildes nos convertimos. Mientras más humildes nos hagamos, más vamos a progresar. Como dice Mahaprabhu, como nos damos cuenta que no somos tan humildes como el zacate, ahí tenemos un problema. Tenemos que razonar, como digo, sobre la absurdidad.
I'll say this to you. You may be proud. It's possible it's good to be a proud member of the Gaudiya Sampradaya.
Nosotros solo podemos ser orgullosos de ser miembro del Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. Orgulloso que mi guru me identifica a mí en cuanto miembro de ese Sampradaya. Ese es un orgullo saludable.
A healthy and humble, member of the Sampradaya. Proud to be a humble member of the Sampradaya.
Orgulloso de ser un humilde miembro de este Sampradaya. Pero si tienes este tipo de orgullo,
the pride and the way you're speaking about it, then to that extent you're not on the path.
En la manera, en el momento que que le dé cualquier poder a este orgullo, ya te sacaste del sendero. El pratishta se ve comparado al estiércol del cerdo. El cerdo come estiércol. ¿Qué es el estiércol del cerdo? O sea, lo peor de lo peor. Entonces, bueno, me alegra haber hablado con ustedes y nos vemos la semana que viene.
So one quick thing again about the Tattva Vivek series. We have Sham Sundar's giving a class this Thursday. He's continuing his 24 Guru series, and it's going to be Ether this time. Should be interesting. So hope you guys can log in. See you next week. Hari Hari Bol.